All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome into the Trade Lounge on Wednesdays. This is Trade Lounge New York. And as always, right, just to kind of show you guys a quick intro of the sessions. Welcome into the G Money Trading Group. And glad you guys are here. Glad your support. It's a free community, guys. Yeah, you can invite anybody in who may be interested in trading. Your trading buddy, your trading partner, definitely invite them in. And basically, we're here to help people learn how to trade. My mission or our mission is to support individuals in learning trading as a skill through education, structure, and community. We are a community of day traders focused on mastering the art of trading and becoming consistently profitable. Our values is trading is a skill, and we respect the process of learning it. So our focus is to really learn how to trade, read these charts, and again, the once you learn how to read these charts, guys, you can read any chart, make an investment decision on whatever you like, and yeah. But if you guys don't know me, I'm Gerardo G Money Pies here, based out of Dallas, Texas. I've been around for about a decade now in this trading space, purely focused on the technical analysis. I learned how to code now, travel around the world with the skill. And just very grateful to be here as service to you guys. As always, right, these calls are for educational purposes only. So any trade idea or speculation is just that. We have three main services, right, which is the trade lounge, the live trade group, and the trade circle. The trade lounge is basically a free way that you guys can kind of get an idea of how I speculate the market. I provide free content through the community chats over here. And the schedule for the Trade Lounge is every Wednesday. We're calling this one Trade Lounge New York, which is more of a pre-market analysis and speculation. And then from here, and then at 9:30 p.m., which is, I believe, Australia's morning, Trade Lounge Sydney. I do have friends and colleagues in that part of the world, in Australia, New Zealand. So as long as we get more people in from that part of the world, I can accommodate my schedule to open up another 9:30 p.m. session, because I know for a fact 7:30 a.m. for Australia is almost evening time. But we're definitely growing, guys. I love this little visual of the map that we have, and we're global. From the USA all the way to Iceland, here mid Europe, some in Africa, and all the way here and down under. Right, we're growing. I got a friend in New Zealand who needs to join, so we can lock in that map. But again, though, right, the more we populate this area, I'll accommodate my schedule for the time zone. So if you're part of this map, awesome. Glad to have everybody here. So let's go ahead and analyze the market today with gold. We had some news coming out, and yeah. But welcome in, guys. See some more people coming in. Andres, welcome in. Let's see, Mr. Ron made it in there. Welcome in, welcome in. And let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's go ahead and kick it off here. So, um, gold is moving exactly how it's supposed to move, right? In bigger scales. We had an opportunity yesterday during live trading that it missed our entry area and it came right back to the same entry area and finished the move. Which is very interesting how price, does that. Kind of stays in the same area a couple of times. And we'll review it here in a second, but I want to review this chart that I have here for us, right? So for the most part, for me, is the Fibonacci retracement tool is what guides me. Okay. The patterns that price leaves behind, there's a price patterns, and price patterns are fractal. Okay, so they repeat themselves over and over and over on different scales. So in order for you to use a Fibonacci retracement tool, you need to find a low and you need to find a high. For the most part, the trading education that I came a part of, you find a swing low and a swing high, right? So you find this low point, you find some structure, some N wave structure, you swing low, swing high, fib it, and then away it goes. Well, I did that and it works. But then as I was zooming in and zooming out of time frames, and then when I got to a big enough time frame, I realized that one of the structures that I drew at some point was a weekly candle. Like, wait a second. So this swing, let's say, for example, this swing right here that you see, and if somebody draws the low all the way to the high, this swing on a bigger scale was simply a weekly candle. Like, okay, so I guess you can start. You can definitely fib a candlestick by itself and have the same results. And you can do it in the 1 minute time frame, all the way from the weekly, daily, monthly, 5 minute, 10 minute time frame. So, and as I was marking this chart up right here, right, and Andre asked an important question. Um, this fib right here. Okay, so before I get to that part, let me explain what I drew. So I am looking for the control, but the control is also scalable. There's a weekly control, there's a daily control, there's a monthly control. In this scenario, I think the main control, I always want to keep in mind of the higher time frames. I'm intraday trading all the time, but I always want to keep in mind of the higher time frames. So because of this huge drop right here of this previous week, okay, this previous weekly candle is challenging these three bulls, these three bullish candles. So that's what I put here. Weekly control candle. I basically put a box around it. That's the low and that's the high. Okay. So obviously the little blue line is 50% of it. As I go back down to the and then I put the high and low of the previous week because the previous weekly candle is my guide as well for this week intraday. So that's why you have two. I have two ranges: the three bullish candles, and the previous week. So when I go down to the 4 hour chart, let's hide this for a second. So when I go to the 4 hour chart, right, this fib here, this gray fib, is measuring this whole box, and then this red fib is only measuring the previous week. So what I found out, right, is the most consistent thing, as I told you guys, right? There's swings that the market does. Okay, there's swings that the market does. There's swing that the market does that, okay, this is the low, this is the high, this is the low, this is the high. Well, where should I draw my fib? Should I draw it from this low to this high? Should I draw it from this low to this high? Should I use this low to this high type of thing? And again, nobody is right and nobody's wrong. So what I found out is the most consistent thing is, okay, weekly candle, maybe three control candles, for sure the weekly, and for sure daily candlesticks as well. Okay, so Andrea had specifically asked, let me go back here to your question. Why are you choosing the candle you did as your control candle to the fib? So I'm thinking now that I'm reading your question again, Andrea, not sure if you were mentioning all of them, but you see the 3 weeks, you see the previous week. That's pretty much a given, right? But here's where it kind of gets a little messy. Let's just put it like that. Okay. We have here, this is Friday's candlestick. This is Monday, and this is Tuesday. And then this price action is Wednesday. We could technically draw perfect, the daily one. We could technically draw a fib from this swing low to this swing high, correct? If I were to hide those, if I were to hide the indicators, right? Here's the low that pushed up, and here's a high. Okay. But whenever I focus in on the day-to-day candle, so yesterday, Monday, we were here, right? Yesterday, Monday, if we draw Monday's candle, what did it do? Well, what did Tuesday's candle do based on Monday? So it came in and retraced about 23%, went up to the first extension of -18, gave us a little pullback, and then it shot back up to the extensions. So technically the momentum from Monday did exactly what it was supposed to do, right? On Tuesday. So because of that, we usually we walk the fib up to the next day, right? Like so. So here, the push down from this morning was able to challenge the entire day. So it looks like there's not a lot of volume from this candlestick already because of that reason. So I still think the control is from here. Okay. But again, when you use a fib, you're never right or you're never wrong, but that's just my thinking, right? So okay, so I'm okay. The only way I keep this fib right here on Tuesday is just to kind of keep in track of where the 23% is at. Okay, that's it. Because the 23%, once it's broken, they'll come back and retest it. Sometimes it'll go away, sometimes it'll come back, and then it'll come back down. So let me change the scale of this. Okay, let me change the scale of this. Okay, so look what happened here. This is remember these 3 weekly candlesticks. This was the big push. Here's the 23% of that scale. It came in here, kind of danced a little bit and broke it. And what did it do? It came right back again and retested that same thing. See? So like these things are happening over and over again. We just gotta catch the we just gotta measure the candles up and the price moving up in a certain way, put a fib on it, and then use the intraday momentum to find opportunity. Okay, guys. So back to the 2 hour. My pleasure. So back to the 2 hour here. This is valid, but I'm gonna measure what's it called? Monday's candle. Monday's candle by itself. By itself. Danimal, I got your co-host, man. Any input on that, man? Just so you can kind of clean it up for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much looking at the entire weekly, that one swing. The interesting thing I noticed, and maybe contraindicating to you, is we got this area for what we may call it BEC level.
Mm-hmm.
But you're basically, when you have this shift down, and what's also interesting, we didn't break this low over here to the right. So we still have the momentum to the upside. So as you're saying, you pick your ponies, you this swing up, we'll look for retracement 50, at least to 50%, and then bring it back up, test this area and continue up, or come back down and go the opposite direction. Is that
Absolutely.
about what you were saying?
Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, okay. So, all right. So that's the bigger picture. Okay. So now this is where I ask myself the three main questions, right? Well, that bigger picture is answering one of the questions. Where are we at now? Okay. So where are we at? So, we're um, excuse me, where is price going today? That's question number one. Okay. And question number two is where are we now? And then question number three is okay, so how do I answer? Okay, so I am thinking, guys, that price will likely come back at least. There you go. I'm just almost finishing it up. I think Monday's candlestick, Monday's price action is still valid. Okay. Price
Yeah.
wants to level up, balance out a little bit of Monday. And this blue box here is this fib here on the right hand side. Okay. So notice here, right? The fib levels are very important. The fib levels are equilibrium levels. They're also like support and resistance levels, things like that. Okay. So we're kind of making a double bottom at 23%. If the buyers do not step up here, okay, this push down on the lower time frame is an N wave that can complete the move to at least 38%, and between 38 and 50%. So maybe that's the same thing you're seeing, Andrich, there, in that scope of things. And then here goes another thing, Andrich, as well, right? There's no right or wrong way to draw a fib. As long as you find a low and you find a high, I mean, this could be the entire swing that we draw up, and price needs to retrace to 50%, maybe 61%. I like to be very, very consistent, at least with the on the daily scale, and I'll draw like that, okay, as a target. Simultaneously, right, this area here, 38 and 50%, is basically kind of like the the break and retest of these 2 days.
I was going
We're
to mention that
go for
because this,
Dynamo.
yeah, I was going to mention it because that's important because this is a high area of support and resistance where you actually hit the tops of these two candlesticks and also the bottom of this candlestick right where you had your little circle, and it's right in between the 50. And that's I like I said, that's where we expect price to, go back to.
Yep, yep, yep.
I'm loving it.
Good stuff, guys. And again, though, this is more of like, okay, where's price gonna go? And that's all we need sometimes, guys. And then from there we decide how we want to trade it and so forth. Let me see. Andre shared one of his charts here. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I like that, man. I like that. You got the whole. Yep, he's got the whole. See right here. And again, I'm using this fib. I'm using this fib. He's got the 0. He's got the 1. We can scratch this word out right here. That's okay. Just kidding with you, man. Here's the low, and there's the high, and boom, push up. And again, though, there goes its levels of there. Good chart, man. I would have passed it, but we have that word there. So I'll give you a C plus. You almost had an A, man. You almost had an A. uh, uh, but yeah, this is advanced algebra, guys. This is not a chemistry class, so we don't use those words here. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so for today, I like maybe that 4,400 price level. Okay, so that 38%. So let's put a target line here. Okay, I'm gonna put a target line right here. Um, text target.
Or
And
another interesting target too is you're pretty close to it, is the 44, right where the 50 is of this previous.
good point.
That is
What
that
is that?
is our,
Dynamo 4413. I like that better. I do like that better. Just a
yeah.
little bit higher there. So we're gonna put as our target at 44 15. Perfect. Okay, that's our target right there. So where are we going? Question number one. Where's price going? So I think we're gonna go to 44.15. Okay. Okay, so then where are we now? What is price doing and how do we enter? So now this is kind of where we go below from the 1 hour time frame and kind of see how this price movement is going down and look for those end waves to the downside. Okay, so again, our target is right here, 44.15. Okay. And look how price is trying to get there, right? Again, it's moving in waves. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Nice little, end wave to the downside. Almost an Elliott wave. It broke the rules of some Elliott wave, but again, it's there. Okay. Um,
Another way to call it is a complex pullback.
yes, sir. Yeah, it's building one. It's definitely building a complex pullback for sure.
Yeah.
Go for it, Daniel. If you see anything else, yeah, keep going, keep going. Let me just speculate.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is I would actually, being this week, I would also take care of this impulse. It's interesting, this impulse up we're looking at, this previous day here, Tuesdays. If we, like I said, if you're even fibbing that, we came back and almost hit the negative 0.18. We came back, hit the bottom, but we didn't break through and close below the low.
Yeah,
Which
we did make those equal lows though, that's for sure.
equal lows. So that's indicator, at least for me in my eyes, to say, you know what, there's a lot of resistance there. I'm not going to touch it.
True.
And time to turn around. I think the previous candlestick was also what's going on now is a doji, like a hammer.
Perfect.
All right, we got doji here. We got this big hammer here going on. So that could be an indication of the price change of direction also. So
On the 1 hour net, is that what you're asking? The one right here? Perfect. You see, your eyes are getting trained there. So because my target is 44.15, the question right now that I'm trying to answer is, how do we enter? So we have to look for, that supply zones equilibrium. So that's, not the supply. I'm looking for a sell high scenario. Okay, a sell high scenario with this movement down. Okay. So how do we do that, right? So again, the drop base drop that's forming right here. Actually, before I do that, let me check on the Asian session. Perfect. Okay. So this kind of validates a few things. So okay. So that was my higher time frame analysis, guys. Using the weekly candle and the higher time frame sessions. For um, the Trade Live subscribers, you will have access to how I have this set up. I'm working to finishing up a video for you guys, so you guys at least can have access to this indicator template that I have, and I'll be making that pretty soon. But okay, now I'm just gonna go to kind of like a naked chart, just so I can kind of focus in on the candlesticks. And basically, okay, how can we get down there? How high could price go? What supply is above there that really can help me, find a good entry? And right here on this 1 hour time frame, we do have a drop base drop, right? A drop base drop where price can definitely come into that area right here. Um, so this is a supply zone. So 1 hour drop base drop. So what is this telling me here? That with this price pattern right here, this drop base drop price pattern, sellers were in control and wanting to push price back down. And the base candle is the equilibrium zone where the more money is the liquidity is there to volume is there to bring us back down. So if this drop base drop is the one that's going to continue bringing price down, right? We can get very near it and then come down. So that's one setup right there. I believe on this was it Oanda? On the Oanda chart, I mean, the drop base drop was just beautiful. Look at that. Like it literally nicked it right about 50% of its body and made a nice drop down. I used to trade that way where you kind of leave an entry there and let it flow, but I stopped because I became more of a momentum trader. I don't want to be the first one in. Always, I want to make sure I see the direction and so forth, and I've learned how to catch a move after the first touch. Okay, but again, so see this pattern here: drop, base, drop. That's the same pattern that we have on the 1 hour time frame on the other chart. Oops. Right there. So that's a good area. What price line is that? That's at least around 44.58. Okay. Let's just change time frames maybe to an 8 hour and just kind of see how that area looks. In that same scale, kind of form a little, what's this, a more evening star pattern, give or take, shaping up. 60s, okay. From here, Aldrich, right here, right? Perfect. And you see, that's why I asked her. He said swing. So, he could have been this swing to this swing, but he's meant this swing to this low, like that. And again, that's why on a higher scale, I lock in on the weekly or daily candlesticks simply because of that reason alone. Okay. And again, if we're considering this high and this low as a swing, you again measure high to low. Let me just change this fib to that. And there it is. Okay. There it is right there, 61%. Now things become measurable for you to have confidence in your entry because you can put a stop loss at 78% or 88% or at the one and so on and so forth. I mean, look at this swing right here, Andre. Just perfect, man. If that swing alone, our target line is reaching that extension almost to the T. Okay. So I
That
am
was
liking.
interesting on that we got this flip zone here
Okay.
right there that is now our area of defense. That's where we got some sellers sitting in that zone, you know. At least it could be. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And then again, we're to finalize here on our sessions view. Okay, that 1 hour drop base drop is about 50% of the Asia range, right? 50% of the Asia range. So it is a good one. It is a good one to take. I like it. Um, Let me see if we can find some better stuff here. Now this one right here, I mean, this would have been a good entry at the lows. When price pushed down and we made a lower low. Um, what's it called? I like the movement up. I just didn't buy it, right? Because I'm waiting. I'm trying to see because I'm thinking that this movement down will be bigger than this one. So let's put it like this. Okay. This push up, it's a good amount of pips, but my target is down here. So for the New York session today, I sense or I'm speculating or predicting that the move down will be bigger than the push up, right? At a market open. So that's the direction that I want to trade it, right? If you really want this, it was there, and it was there not because of liquidity grabbing stuff. You can tell yourself that story, which is perfectly fine. The story that I like to tell myself is the same thing, using the Fibonacci retracement tool as my guide, right? So, for example, this is a high, that's a low, that's about a 50% retracement, and then it extended over to maybe negative 272. And then the cycle repeats itself. That's a high, that's a low. And this one it retraced about 78%. And here it was a negative 272 extension. Okay. So that's the reason that I'm telling myself that's why we turned around. Because from high to low, there it is, guys. You see? High, low, retracement, 78% extension. That's why I turned around and there we go. Okay. All right, guys. So I am liking this 1 hour area for us to consider the sell. Let me go ahead and give you guys this chart. And appreciate you guys being in the session as we continue going this trade lounge. Free NYC. Lovely, 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 lovely. What else am I missing? Perfect. Yeah, we'll close out here with just a few announcements, and then we'll close the class out, and then for those who are VIP members, we'll have our live trading today, and we'll return back to live trading for the premium members tomorrow. But as always, guys, I do appreciate you guys' support. If you need to, right, share whenever if you're in the school and you want to invite somebody to the community, be more feel more than happy for you guys to do so. And try to get this membership up. It's a free community. However, though, right, I am offering any subscription that comes in. The moment the moment you join my community, school gives you a invite link. Okay, give that invite link to whoever you're new, find your trading buddy. Let's put it like that. Okay. The school does give you does allow affiliates. So any member that joins and pays using your link, I have everything set up right now for a 30% commission. So whatever they pay, whatever, again, you get a cut off of that, right? It's the way to market, the way I'm marketing myself, and you guys can help me with that. But again, though, right, it's a free community. Free members will have access to the start, the course, and the lounge. Okay. The course is still being completed. Live trading Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, guys, it's only for $25 a month. If you lock in that price and you don't cancel, that's the price for life. Or you want to be a VIP member, that's the best price, and you get access to everything. Everything. Now we need to find somebody in over there, man. I know the whole thing over there, but we'll find some people over there. But yeah, guys, we'll be back again this evening for Trade Lounge at Sydney, 9:30 new time, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 10:30 New York. And we'll do that. Let me read Pablo's question here, Pablo. And we'll work it up. But yeah, that wraps it up, guys. Pablo, welcome to tu pregunta y terminamos aquí. Appreciate you guys for being here. And again, though, I am little by little, we're gonna start focusing on the Spanish pretty soon. Just right now, which the main focus is the English. Sí, así para todos, por ejemplo, aquí le llamo yo como una entrada le estoy llamando position trade, donde le entras y básicamente agarras el sell high, ¿verdad? Y ya después, por ejemplo, si agarramos la reacción y estamos ya tocando el 23% y bajando, y ya del 23% a las extensiones, ya es un entra más duro ahí, con más confirmación, porque también estamos en azul desde acá arriba, a una entrada pequeña, a lo mejor otra, tienen momentum, o a lo mejor las puedes también cerrar aquí en 23% y hace un retroceso otra vez, y con ese dinero ya de casa, pues ya podemos llevarla para acá abajo. Es una manera de operarla.
I understood all that, G.
Did you guys? You guys got the nice. I speak Spanish too as well, guys. When I drink my coffee, the Spanish comes out good. When I don't, it comes out like the animals. Nah. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up. For those of y'all who are the VIP, we'll be opening up the Zoom. We'll go for the classroom and join from there. I'll open up the Zoom here right at 8:15 and see where we can go from there. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys this evening. Thank you. Bye now.